Hey guys, Soy here, back with another list. This time we're going to be doing 10 games where you can play as a alien. And again, there is no particular order for this list, so let's get into it. First, the Destroy All Humans franchise. A franchise that I grew up on. In fact, one of my favorite franchises. I remember playing the second one day and night. Every Friday I'd start a new game. But anyway, enough about me. So, with the remake that just released, I thought I would also let you know that you can also get the first one, the original Destroy All Humans, both on Xbox and on PS4. But if you're like me, who has a soft side for the second one, you can also get the second one on PS4. Unfortunately, you cannot get the second Destroy All Humans on the Xbox. Microsoft, thanks. If you have siblings or anyone else that you might be wanting to find games to play with, Destroy All Humans 2 might be your best friend because it does offer split screen. Unfortunately, it's only for two players, but if you add any more, honestly, the screen's just gonna get unbearable. Now, this is a video game adaptation from the musical version of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. It's mainly a strategy game, and there are two sides, one being human and the other being Martian. And for the purpose of this video, we're going to be focusing on the Martian bit. Now, as for the inhabitants of Mars, the red planet is becoming more and more uninhabitable for its people. So, the leaders of this planet get together and decide that they have no choice but to migrate to a new world. And unfortunately for humanity, that new world that they have chosen is Earth. And in the gameplay, you are the leader and acting commander of this invasion force. You do get a high amount of control with these units fighting machines and other forces on the Martian frontier. You can even have manual control over the heat ray and other weapons that the units and defense forces have. So let's say you want to burn down a city or a building or make some room for a human blood farm here and there. You do have the power to do that. Make sure you hold down control and then left click where you want intended fire to be focused on.
Message understood. Engaging target. Complying. Message understood.
Hopefully I didn't go into too much detail into that, but it is one of my favorite features, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew how to do it because for a while I didn't think you could. I just kind of figured it out by myself because I don't have the manual for the game. So a lot of the controls are kind of tricky to figure out by yourself in this game, especially since it's older. It doesn't really tell you all that you need to know. Plus, that feature also adds to the immersion of the game, so that helps too. And it never gets old burning down a few cities here and there. You have to make room for some of these factories and whatnot. Very good game for its age. It is a very old game, so getting a digital copy is almost impossible unless you torrent it. Or you could just do the smart thing and get yourself an actual copy of the game. Although it can be a bit pricey since it's kind of a collector's item at this point. Now this crazy 2D game, it seems to be only be available on the Xbox, although its sequel, Alien Hominid Invasion, is said to be released for Xbox, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC, but doesn't have a release date yet, so I'm not really holding my breath. Anyway, back to the current game. Now, the game is basically a 2D scroller where you run around trying to get your ship back from the humans that have taken it after shooting you down out of the skies. Now, you get a few power ups here and there from a tubby kid and enemies that you kill, different kind of weapons. As far as vehicles and other things like that, you do get a few chances to drive cars here and there and operate different machinery and For the most part, you're on foot though, so don't get your hopes up. Now you are able to play local multiplayer with up to 2 to 4 players. I used to play the game on Xbox 360, but I just got it for Xbox One again. I also noticed that you're able to play it on PS2, which I had no idea. I wish I kind of would have known about that sooner back when I had a PS2, but it's somewhere gathering dust now. Now this is a mobile game that's basically like Hungry Shark, but with spaceships instead. And it's made by the same people who developed Hungry Shark, so it's pretty fitting. However, the game's not available in any of the app stores, but you can still download it from a site or two. But just be careful of the different sites because obviously the internet's a big place and there's a ton of scams and stuff on there. If you're an Android user, I can provide a link for you in the description, and I will also put an image of the site that I used that was successful. Now the game, as the title suggests, you basically grab things and abduct people and do miscellaneous tasks to get crystals or the in-game currency to upgrade your ship or even buy a different ship, since there's quite a few options. There's not as many as I would want or like there to be, but at least there's more than one option. Fun game to pass the time, but it does get a bit tedious as time goes by. Maybe that's why it wasn't really getting the attention that it needed to stay in the app stores. Now, this game has had a rocky start to say the least. However, the game today has provided fans what they wanted and more. Organic ships, hundreds of different options for base building, exocraft, different ships, own multiple ships, customizable freighters, appearance modifiers, and yes, multiplayer with friends. About damn time, I know. I wasn't really going to mention this game, but the game that it is today is very addictive and much better than when it started out. So, the main reason why I wasn't going to really mention this game was because no, not its reputation, but because it doesn't really have an invasion feel. It's more of an exploration feel to it. But I did realize that you can play this game with an invasive mentality, especially if you want to fight the Sentinel Force. Now you could be a jerk and just destroy wildlife and prey on innocent wildlife that are trying to mind their own business. Except for some of the predators, I mean, they harass you non-stop. So I guess I could understand why you'd want to destroy some of those predators because they can get pretty annoying pretty fast. But where's the glory in that? It's just wildlife. I thought I would take it a step forward and actually fight the Sentinels. So if you ever feel like you want to invade a certain planet, just find a planet with high Sentinel activity and you'll have no guilt or anything. You'll just crush those Sentinels because let's face it, they deserve it. Maybe it's just me, but I don't ever really feel bad for destroying them. Now that they added mechs to the game, you can actually go toe-to-toe with those walkers without getting in your ship and having to fly circles around it like an angry wasp. Okay, so at first glance, this game looked a bit suspicious since the quality doesn't seem to be the best. But after playing it for a while, I found out that it's actually kind of addicting. Although the mechanics are very difficult and will take you a minute to actually learn how to do some things, and the abilities can be a bit tricky as well. Like with the stretching ability, you could get yourself killed in a blink of an eye if you don't know what you're doing. I'm kind of hoping that they'll change the stretching ability to some kind of short-ranged teleporting ability, so that way it can seem more grounded and not like something out of a cartoon. So basically the main objective of this game is you go around gathering resources and nutritional objects and orbs to keep your health up and keep your alien alive, eventually build a base to where you can build a ship and finally leave the planet. Which is kind of a bummer because I've always been eager to get my hands on different vehicles and weaponry, especially if it's alien tech, because that's always been interesting to me. Now, this game is similar to Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds strategy game in the fact that you get to play as both human and alien forces. Although, unlike Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, you go through mission by mission to unlock things, and you don't really purchase upgrades as much as you do just kind of unlock them from each mission completion. The game's not too bad, but in my opinion, it doesn't really hold up against Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds game. But it's a good way to pass the time, and it's not too expensive either. Also, unlike Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds, a digital copy is actually pretty common for this game, and it's said to be released to consoles as well. Now, this game is a very basic 2D scroller where you just walk around and abduct people, and that's about it. Other than the exploration and one or two abilities, there isn't really much more to the game. It's pretty simplistic. When I said the game is basic, I meant basic. So this is going to be a really short segment. Now, this game's very similar to Plague Inc., but with aliens, of course. You are able to choose different races. Say, that is a strategy game. If you guys are not familiar with Plague Inc., you basically slowly spread out throughout the whole planet until you get every continent and strategically plan next attacks and upgrades until you finally beat the game. And then after you beat the game, you reset the board and you unlock another race or different upgrades. Go back and you keep doing that until you've unlocked everything. Last and unfortunately least, this game is very basic and very poorly designed. I like the idea of a whole 3D open world alien experience, but I just feel like there's a lot of potential to this idea that kind of went to waste unless the creator ends up updating it and working on it more. This could have been better. The running is ridiculously slow. It feels like you're running in place, like you're in some kind of nightmare trying to run faster, but you never seem to run fast. And just the graphics, I mean, the graphics are kind of a joke. Again, it's a game. It's a free mobile game, so you can't really complain that much. I just wish that the person would add some kind of, I don't know, upgrades or add more to it. Just add more to it to the game so it's actually a better game. It's a good idea, but you could do better. It's a bit difficult to find games where you could actually play as an alien, but there you have it. That about wraps up this video. With the diversity of games nowadays, you would think there would be more, but no, that's about it. I mean, I was digging kind of deep for some of these. Anyway, hope you liked. Share, subscribe, do all that crap that everybody else is blabbering about on every other channel. Kind of bums me out that I had to search deep for some of these because I wish there were more. There are games where you could play as an alien, but they're kind of limited.